Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mayor Calabrese,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Rafosco,
Present.
Councilman Waldron,
Present.
Councilman Cartwright,
Present.
Councilman Carestas.
Present.
Make a motion for the approval of the minutes, please.
Mayor, I'd like
Yes,
to make
Deputy.
a motion to approve the minutes from March 16th, 2026.
Thank you. Make it a second.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Rafosco,
Yes.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Councilman Cartwright,
Yes.
Councilman Carestas,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese.
Yes.
Minutes approved.
At this time, we're going to make a little deviation from the agenda. We're going to move to the appointments at this time and the proclamations, because as we go on with our meeting, sometimes the folks who get appointed or have the proclamation need to leave to celebrate. As interesting as we are, they'd rather spend time with their families. At this time, it is my pleasure to I would like to make a motion to appoint Eric Breeden to the Shade Tree Commission. He comes very highly recommended from our Shade Tree Chair, Kathy Rayborn. Eric originally is from the tree-lined streets of Hudson, Ohio. He came to the Pittsburgh area in 2015 and moved to Penn Hills in 2018. He has a BA in geography from Kent State University, and he works as a geographer for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in Pittsburgh District. Eric is community-minded and began volunteering in Penn Hills by picking up litter along Universal Road. He learned about the Shade Tree Commission through helping out at Rhode Road tree plantings and later became one of the road's tree tenders. Eric completed a Pittsburgh tree tender course in 2025. When it's nice outside and the trees are already tended, he's enjoying a bicycle ride somewhere. I met Eric through the Shade Tree Commission and through litter pickups. I tried to get to know Eric better, but you know what? You just can't talk to him because he's so busy picking up litter and planting trees, and he's very, very diligent, and it is truly our honor to have someone like Eric on the Shade Tree Commission. Having said that, are there any comments from the public?
Felix Catlin, 223 Detour Drive. I've known Eric for a bit too, and that's mostly true. He's also smart as a whip, and he has some other interests as well, namely transportation issues. He spoke beautifully here about a year ago. He could be on any committee or on council here in Penn Hills, and the Shade Tree Commission is lucky to nab him.
Any comment from council?
Yes, Mayor.
Yes, Councilman.
Yeah, I've gotten to know Eric a little bit too from litter pickups and the Book of Faces, and I think he is a bright guy, and I'm sure he'll do a wonderful job in the Shade Tree Commission.
Roll call, please.
Councilman
I'm sorry, excuse me.
No roll
Point of order. I've got a very tough solicitor here. So I made a motion to appoint Eric to the Shade Tree Commission. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Councilman Cartwright,
Yes.
Councilman Carestas,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rafosco.
Yes.
Motion approved. Sorry.
Congratulations. Next, as we move to a proclamation, I would like to embarrass Mr. Marola and ask him to come forward, please. I make this proclamation on behalf of the municipality of Penn Hills. Whereas the municipality of Penn Hills hereby recognizes the outstanding contributions of Andrew Marola, and whereas Andrew Marola is an excellent barber and a longtime resident of Penn Hills, where he and his wife Tilda have raised their 2 children, Melissa and Mark, and where he became an amazing grandfather to Nick and Mark Jr. And whereas on March 3rd, 1956, Carmine's Barber Shop was established in Penn Hills by Andrew Marola's father. And whereas on July 21st, 1969, the name of the barber shop was changed to Andrew Marola Barber Shop, and it has conducted business in Penn Hills for 70 years. Making the Andrew Marola Barber Shop the oldest barber shop in Penn Hills and a staple in the community. And whereas Andrew Marola's Barber Shop has become a well-established business, receiving praise for the prompt service, friendly atmosphere, engaging conversations, and for providing quality haircuts at a reasonable price, making it a highly recommended destination for the traditional barbershop experience. And now, therefore, during this, the 70th year of operation, be it resolved that I, on behalf of the council, Mayor of Penn Hills, hereby recognize and thank Andrew Marola for his lasting contributions and impact on the Penn Hills community. Dated and signed today, April 20th, 2026.
Just make it short and sweet. I'd like to, first of all, give credit to my father. He started in 1956, and I continued on with him. He wanted me to get in the business with him, and I did. Never thought 70 years later I'd still be doing it. And I'm sure right now he's watching over, and he's probably saying, good job done, son. Thank you.
Take a picture with council.
Yes, yes.
Thinking I didn't write all that. May I get a motion for item number 4, the approval of April expenditures and reports?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I'd like to make a motion to approve item 4, approving April's expenditures and reports totaling $4,321,035.66.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council? Roll call, please.
Councilman Cartwright,
Yes.
Councilman Carestas,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rafosco,
Yes.
Councilman Waldron.
Yes, with abstention for Gateway Engineers.
Expenses approved.
Thank you. May I get a motion for item number 6?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I make a motion, we approve item 6A, Resolution 2026-13, rejecting bids for the Penn Hills Facility Automation Project.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public?
Mr. Catlin again. Could we explain rejecting bids? Somebody, a little elucidation for the public. Thanks.
We'll let our engineer do that.
Yeah, I got that one. So we went out to bid for the skater project. One bid was received. That bid admitted actuator bids, which would be required at every facility, so it was not considered a full bid, therefore it has to be rejected.
Thank you. Any further comment from the public? Any comment from council? Roll call, please.
Councilman Carestas?
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rafosco?
Yes.
Councilman Waldron?
Yes.
Councilman Cartwright?
Yes.
Motion approved.
May I get a motion for item 6B?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I'd like to make a motion to approve item 6B, Resolution 2026-14, awarding the Penn Hills Phase 18 2026 Sewer Repair Contract A to State Pipe Services Incorporated in the total amount of $158,306, and Contract B to Jet Jack, Inc. in the total amount of $235,155.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council? I'll just say one thing. It's, we don't think about our sewer system, but it's the one service that everybody uses every single day. It's underground, so you can't see it. But you also don't hear things like you hear in other municipalities where buses are falling into sinkholes and things like that. So we really are very, very proud of our infrastructure. You can't see it, but we're taking care of it. Roll call, please.
Mayor Calabrese?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rafosco?
Yes.
Councilman Waldron?
Yes.
Councilman Cartwright?
Yes.
Councilman Carestas?
Yes.
Resolution approved.
May I get a motion for item 6C?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I'd like to make a resolution to approve Resolution 2026/15, awarding the 2026 Capital Road Program to Tresco Paving Corporation in the amount of $648,932.50.
Thank you. May I get a second?
A second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council? I'll just reiterate that, once again, we are taking care of our infrastructure. I know it's inconvenient, and I know sometimes I'm driving down the road and I'm thinking, boy, this is, it's a traffic jam or whatever, but please know that we are taking care of the roads as well. I mean, we have to maintain this stuff, and I'm very proud of the work that we're doing on our infrastructure. Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Rafosco?
Yes.
Councilman Waldron?
Yes.
Councilman Cartwright?
Yes.
Councilman Carestas?
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese?
Yes.
Resolution approved.
May I get a motion for item 6D?
Mayor,
Yes, Deputy Mayor.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Resolution 2026-16, awarding a contract to R&B Mechanical for the William McKinley Citizen Center Boiler Plumbing Upgrades Project in the total amount of $25,275.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council? Back in, I think it was 2018, that Penn Hills was actually named the best place to retire. That was pretty amazing. And a part of the services that we offer in Penn Hills is for our seniors. And we have, multiple places, but the William McKinley Citizen Center is a place that is a place for, all ages. All ages. It's a place that is a community center for many folks, places for children to play. In Penn Hills, we've got 10 parks. We've got a water park. We've got a dog park. We've got multiple neighborhood playgrounds. There's so many amenities in Penn Hills that we've just got to keep getting the word out. And so, again, these are things that we are maintaining for the benefit of our residents. Roll call, please.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Councilman Cartwright,
Yes.
Councilman Carestas,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rafosco.
Yes.
Resolution approved.
May I get a motion for item 6E?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I make a motion to approve item 6E, Resolution 2026-17, awarding a contract to Tresco Paving Corporation for the 2026 CDBG Street Reconstruction Program in the total amount of $197,415.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council? Roll call, please.
Councilman Cartwright,
Yes.
Councilman Carestas,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rafosco,
Yes.
Councilman Waldron.
Yes.
Resolution approved.
May I get a motion for item 6F?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 2026-18, authorizing the municipality of Penn Hills to enter into a lease agreement with the municipality of Penn Hills as lessor and the Penn Hills Baseball Association as lessee for concession stand number 1 and baseball fields located in the Turner Friendship Park.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council? Just again, another reflection of the amenities that we have. How great is that? I mean, that's just fundamentally part of childhood to play these sports. Roll call, please.
Councilman Carestas,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rafosco,
Yes.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Councilman Cartwright.
Yes.
Resolution approved.
May I get a motion for item 6G?
Mayor,
Yes, Deputy Mayor.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution 2026-19, authorizing the municipality of Penn Hills to enter into a lease agreement with the municipality of Penn Hills as lessor and the Penn Hills Girls Softball Association as lessee for concession stand and use of softball fields at Penn Hills Park.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment? I'm sorry. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council?
I just want to say, I'm going to mimic your words from the previous resolution, that I've been a very excited Penn Hills parent of softball and baseball for over 17 years of playing from T-ball all the way through high school. So it's really nice to be up here and be able to help our team continue the success.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rafosco,
Yes.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Councilman Cartwright,
Yes.
Councilman Carestas.
Yes.
Resolution approved.
May I get a motion for item 6H?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I'd like to make a motion to accept Resolution 2026-20, authorizing the municipality of Penn Hills to enter into a lease agreement with the municipality of Penn Hills as lessor and the Penn Hills Soccer Association as lessee for the soccer fields and concession stand located at Universal Memorial Park and the soccer field at Turner Friendship Park.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Hopeton. I'm the president of Penn Hill Soccer Association, and we have our treasurer, Autumn, and our secretary, Stacy. We'd like to thank you guys for approving this motion. Soccer is one of the cool things, especially this year with the World Cup being in the United States. We're seeing an influx of people signing up for our program. So we accept that, and we are honored to have this. We will also like to talk about, at some point, the development of our fields and our facilities, just for safety of everybody. And we serve a plethora of individuals, but the fields, as far as like drainage and everything else, I'll save that for something else, is something that we're looking into as well. But thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much. Any further comment from public? Any comment from council?
Mayor.
Yes, Council?
I just want to thank the three from the Soccer Association for coming out.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Councilman Cartwright,
Yes.
Councilman Carestas,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rafosco.
Yes.
Resolution approved.
I just have a point of, I guess, order here. So I'm going to call for a motion for this resolution, but we were talking about we may have to change it. Can I call for it as it is? Do I call for it as it's drafted right here?
No, I think you amended it.
It can be amended.
This is one of, you want to make the motion the way you want it to read.
So amend it as I speak, or just? Okay, should we just ask Meg how we should do this?
Yes.
Okay. So, we are at the point in the agenda on 6I, and so we had some questions about it, and as we understand it, it can be done in 2 phases. So, the way it's drafted right now, it doesn't say that. Can you help us? We originally talked about tabling this until next month so that we could recraft it, but we thought that if we would not table it if you can help answer a couple questions. Number one, how do we word this to say that we can do it in?
Okay. In my memorandum to you, I explained that it is expensive. It's an expensive project. And there is a possibility that you can do it in 2 phases. And when I talked with our representative for the C2P2 grant, she recommended that because several years ago, pavilions were replaced at Universal Park, and they're all ADA accessible, and we have no ADA accessible restrooms. So most definitely that's a priority for that to be done. We also, in the grant application, we also were going to submit for the replacement of the existing equipment and have that be accessible as well. But because the project is so expensive, you could choose to make a motion to complete it in 2 phases. If you complete it in 2 phases, I would recommend that phase 1 be the ADA restrooms. Phase 2 would be the replacement of the recreation play equipment.
And do you know how much that would, what the cost would be?
The cost for the total cost for the project is $701,000. So if we were to do it in 2 phases and break it down, the maximum we can apply for is a $250,000 grant. And then we would be responsible for paying the difference. So when you look at the cost estimate that the engineers provided, we can separate the ADA from the play equipment. And the ADA is more expensive. The ADA restrooms are definitely more expensive. But I think we could apply for $250,000 and have a cash match of $250,000 in phase 1. And then phase 2, we could move on to the remainder of the project for the play equipment.
So we would be applying for $250,000 and we have to match the $250,000?
Yes. Yes.
And I'll ask the Director of Finance, do we have the ability to do that?
I believe that if these are approved, they wouldn't be approved until later this year, and we would work with our 2027 budget, and we can factor that into our budget.
But-
If the grant were awarded, the announcement would be made probably in the fall, and then it takes time until they get the contracts prepared and everything, and we wouldn't be expending anything in 2026. It would be for 2027, which more than likely, the bulk of that would be for engineering and design and preparation of specifications for the project.
So let me ask you this. So let's say we have some sort of contingency that comes up and we would not have that money. Are we able to apply for the grant? Let's say we're awarded the grant, and then if we cannot fund it, is there any penalty for that if we push it?
It's mandatory that we fund it. We have to provide a statement that funds are available, and we would be responsible for carrying the project through. That's a requirement of the grant.
But you're saying we can't say that today. Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is that likely we wouldn't get this awarded until the end of this year, so the monies would be budgeted in the next year's budget.
Right. It would be part of Parks and Rec's budget as you're creating it for 2027. You would take this into account
Yes,
as part of
in
their
our budgeting
total
process, yes.
expenditures for 27.
Yes.
What's their budget for '26?
For Parks and
Parks and Recs.
Recreation, all of the grants were done in the capital fund. I believe there was, off the top of my head, it was a little over $1 million that was budgeted for the parks program, the grant project that they were going to apply for Duff Park, which was the skate park and I believe pickleball.
Yes.
That they did
Yes.
not get awarded that. So part of those funds are being used to update the skate park, but there is remaining funds in the capital for parks programs currently.
So you're saying that right now we really could, there's no danger in us saying, yes, we can fund this. You're saying you believe we,
We have the amount in our capital fund right now, and we would program that if we apply for it, we would make sure it's there for 2027.
Is that amount the full boat for the full project, or breaking it up?
If we apply for it, we would make sure the funds are available for either
Okay.
project.
so if we break it into two phases, is it mandatory that and we have to follow up with the second phase as well, so we do have to come up with the 700,000 eventually.
Eventually, but we would apply for Phase 2 when the 2027 round of funding is announced. However, we don't have any guarantee that that phase would be funded. If it's not funded in '27, we would submit another application in 2028.
Okay.
So we could potentially apply for 2 different grants to fund rather than just one grant today.
Yes, yes.
And that would stop us from overmatching, spending
Yes.
more dollars potentially.
Yes, if both phases are funded, yes.
If both phases are funded.
We would end up receiving $500,000
Right,
in
we
grant
could
funding.
potentially get 250 the next round.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
And you're saying it doesn't make sense to table this, to talk about this further, for us to vote on it at the next meeting or call a special meeting because you've got a deadline. Is
Yes,
that
the
correct?
application is due on April 30th. Well, the 30th is actually on a Saturday, I believe. Or no, I'm sorry, it's on a Friday. But we like to get it submitted
Yeah.
at least 3 to 4 days prior to the due date, so. And the resolution has to accompany the grant application. And we could break it up into phases.
So correct me if I'm wrong. At our last meeting, you said that we had a $14 million fund balance, but that's going to dip down to 10 million, correct?
In our general fund, yes.
Yeah. And then then you expect it to go from 10 to 5, is that correct?
Over the next few years, if there's no change, and depending on, raises and things like that, the general fund balance is likely to continue to deplete if there's no change in either a tax increase or a changing in, the expenses, which I don't necessarily see happening in the next few years. So the fund balance will continue to go down, but the capital fund also receives, how do I word this correctly? When we pay for the items in a grant, we a lot of times are then reimbursed, which that reimbursement can be used to fund other grants. So all of that being paid out of the capital fund is different than the general fund. It's paid out of a different funding source.
So you're confident that we can go ahead and do this tonight? You
Yes.
have no qualms?
Correct.
Okay. Any comment from the public?
Felix Catlin again. This is wide-ranging. There'll be a couple questions, and anybody could answer them. So this is at entirely the expense of the proposition to improve the skate park and the environs of the skate park? Anybody?
No, this is
No,
Universal
we're
Park.
at Universal right now.
I understand, but does that kill that idea? 1. 2, I like the discussion about the commitment to matching funds. This is a reflection of our conversation last week about the lack of planning for the matching funds for the library improvements. So it looks like there's more attention to this now. And my last question is, are all the parks ADA accessible? And this is the only one who lacks ADA accessibility. What are the exact modifications at the park with regard to the restrooms to make them comply with ADA regulations? I assume automatic doors, hand railings, ramps. I need to know exactly what you're funding here if you do it tonight. Thank you. Anybody, Meg particularly.
If we were to fund the Phase 1 portion, in the packet, if you take a look at the packet that was on the website. Okay. There is a drawing of the improvements, and that's for the entire project. But if you look at the first portion of the project, which would be Phase 1, it would be for the ADA restrooms, the ADA parking, and then you need to have an accessible route that would go to the restrooms. And the restrooms are all completely handicap accessible. They fit a wheelchair. I don't know about the other parks. I would have to get back to you as far as the other parks go, but this is what we're proposing for Universal Park.
And new playground?
That would be Phase 2. And that would be also, that would make the play equipment accessible and inclusive to all.
Yeah, Felix, we used to have ADA accessible equipment at Penn Hills Park, but that was removed because it was old and outdated. This would provide replacements for the equipment currently at Universal Park and give it that ADA accessibility that we don't currently have.
Are any federal funds available for this in the ambit of ADA accessibility is federal law? Could Mr. Deluzio help with this?
I mean, that's something that we could look into for down the road, but
Maybe we should have thought of that.
at this point, we were told that there was sufficient funding with the C2P2 grant for the ADA upgrades for the park.
I think Mr. Catlin raises some good points, so I do have another question. If we were to, engage in further planning, further discussion, is there any reason to believe that we couldn't, because further down you're going to see we talk about grant writing some more, that we couldn't seek federal funds, or also that, is there any reason to believe that we couldn't apply for this grant next year?
We could, that's entirely up to the decision of mayor and council. We could do it that way and look for other funding, or you can apply for this grant, and then you can also look for other matches through other federal grants that might be available next year for this same project. So those are options.
I'm just really torn because it seems like we're rushing, and it seems like we haven't explored further to get, and I'm not faulting you, I'm just saying, and although we have a deadline this month, my question is, it's not as if we don't have other opportunities.
I mean, I really don't feel like we're rushing, considering this was something we contemplated last year, right? And it did not come to fruition. So I feel like we've all had time to, process this as a potential project. I'll leave it at that.
I don't mean, I mean, how do we fund it? Like, we need time to figure out, there's only so much. We have to take from somewhere, and where are we going to take it from? That's my question. I don't know that we've really hashed this out far enough. It's not clear to me that we're really going to have, if we're going to commit to this, I don't know where we're getting $700,000 from. It feels to me like we're starting to overcommit.
If you were to do it with Phase 1 and Phase 2, we would have to match, we would apply for $500,000 approximately, and we would have to match it with $250,000. The grant would be $250,000, and then the match is $250,000. It's a 50-50 match.
Right, and then don't we have to match for the second phase as well? We have to match for two
Yes, that would
phases.
be, and that would be budgeted for the following year, and actually, that would be budgeted for 2028. You would apply in '27, and then if it were, when you put that application in, you would have to apply in 2027, but it wouldn't be awarded and ready to go until 2028. So it would be in 2028's budget.
Yes, we're looking at half of that, well, about 500,000 this year, or next year, actually, with a $250,000 match. So we're only on the hook for 250 there. And then in
Yes.
28, we'd be on the hook for half of whatever is remaining in the playground equipment,
Right.
which would probably be about 150 by my calculations, or 100.
Yeah.
Because you
it
said
would be-
701 total for the project, 500 for the bathroom equipment, and then that leaves 201 for the playground
Right.
equipment.
Approximately 201 for the Phase 2 application.
So we're looking at 250K next year and 100K in 28, if we get the grants.
And then there might be some cost adjustments too, so it could be between 100,000 and 125,000.
Sure.
Possibly.
Not to put you on the spot, but is 500 sufficient to get the ADA portion done?
I believe it would be.
Going to fire some questions from down here, Meg.
Okay.
Is it safe to say that this is probably the only projects that you're focused on within our park system for this year?
It would be this one in Duff Park.
Yes,
both
right.
on
These
the
are the main two.
agenda.
And
Yes.
it's very typical to roll out a project like this, one or two a year, that involve matching grants. This is nothing new. This is merely us saying, do we want to approve this year's projects that would involve that match, whether it be coming from the capital fund or through the general fund? And I don't know if I have council comment yet, but I'll keep going. It makes sense to me, quite frankly. I do like the idea of looking for potential federal dollars, but we can do that once we approve this piece of it. As we mentioned, the dollars aren't due until next year. That gives us 8-9 months to reach out to Mr. DeLuzio's office and see what's available there. Our finance director just let us know that she has all the confidence that we can afford this, even if we didn't fund any additional federal funding. So why wouldn't we approve this today, move forward, and then reach out to our congressman's office to potentially make the bill even less?
So that's accurate, then you're confident we can fund this?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, Greg.
Resuming public comment. Greg Swatchik, 648 Gramick Lane. I wasn't going to comment on whether you ought to vote on this or not until Mr. Carestas talked, and it sounds like his proposal makes absolute sense. So now I would weigh in and support what he just said. The reason I came up before I heard him talk, Your Honor, was to maybe be able to clarify your quandary as to whether or not you can change the verbiage in the agenda item in order to advance the cause. And I think that was a very good thought on your part. And I just happen to have something here that I'd like to give to the solicitor. And in case this kind of a thing comes up again with other agenda items and other meetings, it might be worth quickly for me to just say this in my 3 minutes. Can the published agenda be changed or amended within a week of the meeting? It says, yes, the published agenda can't be amended within a week of the meeting. In fact, under the Pennsylvania Sunshine Act, it can even be amended during the meeting itself. Recent rulings from the Supreme Court have clarified that local governing bodies have significant flexibility to change their agendas as long as they follow specific procedures. Mr. Solicitor, what I'm reading into that also is, since you can change the agenda itself, item by adding an item, amending it, I think it goes an enveloping case that you can change the verbiage in a printed agenda item as well. That's probably, less strict than what is being permitted. So there's things here. It says during the meeting you have to have a majority vote rule, hold a majority vote rule, announce the reason, and allow public comment. So I think, Mayor, you can reword the item, ask for public comment, get a vote from everybody that is okay to do, and it's all kosher legally. So I'd just like to give this to the solicitor, and I'll sit down.
So excuse me, just so the public is aware, we're not amending the agenda to add a new item. This item is already on the agenda. What we're doing is we're altering the way potentially that it is voted upon to split it into two. Even if the Supreme Court would not have ruled and clarified that you can add things back to the agenda now, this would have been permitted because it's already on the agenda. You're just simply splitting it into two. So you're more than welcome to proceed in the manner that was already discussed.
Joe McAndrew, 1718 Outlook Drive. So overall, just to give everybody a little bit of history, this is the third year that I've seen this discussion occur for Universal Park and especially this project. The first year was 3 years ago. It was whenever the C2P2 application was open and it was applied for. And at the same point, the VOP trail was also applied for a bridge that needed fixed. At that point, in those discussions, amongst the state level, it was decided that we would move the money over to the VOP trail at that time because that was a project that we wanted to see that portion of that trail completed for the Penn Hills community, which is now completed in its whole, which is very exciting to see that portion, Penn Hills, be the first community done with that trail. The second year, last year, we had this discussion, and for whatever reason, the application had some bumps and bruises. And so this is the third year in a row that I've seen this application. And overall, I do think it's a worthy project. I think the investment in the Universal Park, that we see the organizations that come in the Universal Park, and utilize it in so many different ways with so many different kids, and to expand that opportunity for kids that need that ADA accessibility to be able to use those facilities, especially whenever you have dozens or hundreds of kids going to that park, is something that's really worthwhile. Now that being said, I understand that there's a conversation on all three different phases on how you might roll this out, what dollars you're looking at, what matching dollars might be available, and all that stuff. At the end of the day, I do believe that this is a worthy project, and you would have the support of my office if you would decide to move forward with any type of scope for this project. It could be whatever phase you're looking at, if you want to do it all now, if you want to do partial, and you want to just have this commitment now, but if you wanted to do this in 2 phases, that sounds completely reasonable to me and my office, and you would expect that support from my end. Thank you.
Any further comment from the public? Any comment from council?
Yeah, my only comment is that I do support splitting this into 2 phases and funding phase 1, or at least applying for a grant for phase 1. I would be in favor of that.
Mayor?
Yes, Councilman.
Yeah. We have people who were here last week or in the paper know that there's a $750,000 matching grant, $750,000 matching grant coming down from the library too, that wasn't budgeted. Frankly, I'm just worried about money. We had a $14 million surplus that I was told when I walked in here in January. The fear is it's going to go down to 10 at the end of the year, heading further south a year after that. Right now, I think what's called for is just fiscal conservatism, honestly. But I do support breaking it into 2 if we can avoid the overmatching funds, save some money on the back end.
So you're saying you want to go forward with it now?
Yeah, I'll support breaking it into 2.
Any further comment? Certainly, I think that everybody up here agrees that this is a very worthy project, absolutely, and I echo both what Councilman Waldron and Councilman Cartwright said. I don't think anybody doubts that this is a very good thing to do. We're just a little nervous about the money, how we're going to pay for it. But if our finance director tells us she's confident, then we have to trust her. And so if she tells us the money's there, I'm going to take her word for it. Roll call, please.
There's no vote.
I'm sorry?
You have, there.
Oh, okay, we need
a
to-
proper motion to put into phases.
Okay, so may I get a motion for item 6I?
Yes, Mayor, I would like to make a motion to amend item 6I to, gosh, what is the motion? It is to approve the first part of the project, the phase 1 only for this grant submission, which I believe, Meg, correct me if I'm wrong, would be a $250,000 grant submission for the total $500,000 project for the ADHD restroom facility.
That's correct.
This year.
And just as a point of order, so that we don't have to try to repeat that, as I understand it, I first have to make a motion to accept that we're going to amend it, and then after, presuming we accept that, then I'm going to make a motion to, based on the language that Councilman Carestas just said.
So again, this motion is, this resolution is already on the agenda. We're not amending the agenda to add something new. So he's allowed to simply reword the motion to change it into something similar but different. You don't
Okay.
have to go through that process.
Very good. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilman Cartwright,
Yes.
Councilman Carestas,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rafosco,
Yes.
Councilman Waldron.
Yes.
Resolution approved.
Thank you. May I get a motion to table item 6J?
Mayor,
Yes, Deputy Mayor.
I'd like to make a motion to table Resolution 2026-22, authorizing the manager to be the designated official to sign and complete all documents and agreements with the Commonwealth Financing Authority for the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development Greenways, Trails, and Recreation Program.
Thank you. May I get a second?
A second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman Carestas,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rafosco,
Yes.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Councilman Cartwright.
Yes.
Motion approved to table.
Thank you. May I get a motion to table item 6K?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I make a motion that we table item 6K, Resolution 2026-23, awarding a contract to Urban Design Ventures for consulting services for preparation of the 5-year consolidated plan, action plan, CAPER, and technical services related to the Penn Hills Community Development Block Grant Program.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rafosco,
Yes.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Councilman Cartwright,
Yes.
Councilman Carestas.
Yes.
Motion to table approved.
May I get a motion for item 6?
Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 2026-24, authorizing an execution of an agreement with the Allegheny Strategic Partners for comprehensive grant services in the amount of $3,500 per month for a period of 6 months, commencing on the 1st of May, 2026, and continuing through the 31st of October, 2026.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public?
Hello. I just need to get back to the microphone because there was no public comment on these tabled items, and I'm curious as to know, especially in that community development block grant funds are mentioned 3 times on the agenda. They all seem to dovetail somehow. And I have, oddly, in my hand a pen by Urban Design Ventures. I don't know where I got it. So I'm sort of curious as to what those items were. And I apologize for not commenting on L, but if you could just briefly explain the dovetailing of those 3 community development block grant items and why this K was tabled.
So the reason that there wasn't discussion on those items, Felix, is because under Robert's rules, when a motion to table is made and seconded, it goes right to a vote. Unlike if it was motioned and seconded, and there would be follow-up discussion on the motion to try to get, lobby which way you're going to vote, yes or no on those. I'm sorry?
What service is Urban Design Ventures proposing to make? And the other two, community development, the paving from Tresco, how is this all tied together?
I don't know if they're tied together, but I think that they are just different grant applications that they want to make sure that we have the funding for. They can be submitted at a later date. They're not under the time constraint that the earlier one is under, as Meg just talked about.
Okay, I'll have further questions later, thank you.
And this is off subject. I'm a grandmother of 10, and nudity can be next door to my house. This is what can be next door, mental health. She's tearing up my car, and she runs around the community nude at any given, and I have 10 grandchildren. I want to hear Penn Hills. Let's discuss this. Damn a park. I'm over it. 6 years, and y'all have 100 cases here in Penn Hills. Mental health. Let's deal with that. Let's deal with that. Shame on y'all. I'm a grandmother of 10, and they can't come to my yard because of this. Let's talk about this, please, and thank you. Grab my purse and let's go.
Ma'am, if you would be happy, I'd be happy to talk with you after when I get off here so we can get some contact information.
Please.
Thank you. May I get a motion for items
It's a
6I?
motion currently, right? 6I is currently under motion with public comment.
What's that?
I know that got a little disconnected.
Sorry.
Overall, I just wanted to, I know that there was a lot of conversation earlier around, I'm sorry, Joe McAndrew, 1718 Outlook Drive. So anyways, I know there's a lot of conversation around grants and grant funding and grant matching and a lot of that stuff. And I know that I actively participate in pushing for grant funding for this community. It's one of the things I'm most proud of in the role. And specifically, I just was more standing up to say that, I hope we're not considering throwing the baby out with the bathwater. That, as we look towards the future, I know that there's grant matches. We know that there's those things that have to occur. But the reality is that, these things do offset costs that are burdens for the municipality. And that as we look towards the future, we need to continue to push for state funding. I fundamentally believe that it's one of the core positions of my role. And whenever we look down the pike, I think one of the conversations that came up, I know it was the last meeting, but it was around, buying salt trucks, right? Buying salt trucks for the municipal building because, maybe they were or were not organized in the budget. But at the same point, we look at it and we go, well, it was really nice. I was excited that, even though that there's that cost there, that we got $3 million for paving. So it offsets some of that what's going on with, the burden that goes on to that public, to the public works. And so as we look into the future and as we move into the future, I 100% have to think that, we have to prepare for the 2027 season and the 2028 season and beyond. And the applications that are going in now, as was discussed earlier, are applications that we hope that get funded so that we can pursue this in 2027 and 2028 budgets. And I don't know about you, but I'm hoping to stick around until 2028 and beyond. And I think that overall, we definitely need to be in a place where we're applying for these grants and actively searching for them. And I'm excited to see you guys up there today, having a discussion around bringing in a grant writer that I think is of great reputation, will do a wonderful job. And I really believe that, this will lead us into being able to go after that funding. I know there might be some matches along the way, but I just don't want to see us throw the baby out with the bathwater. So, thank you, everybody.
Any further public comment? Any comment from council? I agree with you, Representative. We absolutely need to look to the future, and that's what we're saying. And I think every one of us up here are very much interested in seeking out grant opportunities. But I say this all the time, it's just easier for me to comprehend. I just echo what Councilman Wright just said, we have to be fiscally responsible. I view this as, I would look at my household budget, right? Our number one source of revenue is our residents. That's our number one source of revenue. We have to look at grants as we would maybe a gift card. So it's great to have grants. We just can't depend on grants and treat them as income. Our COVID money, that was like an inheritance that we're not going to see that kind of money in our generation. It is quite sobering that our finance director told us that she expects that we will go from 14 million in our fund balance to 10 million, and we will continue in that trajectory and then be at 5. So we really are we're moving cautiously up here. You can see each of us, we're all moving very cautiously, and that's why we're holding our directors to their feet to the fire. They're telling us that right now this is going to work, because this is all really good stuff, no question about it. It's very good stuff. But we have to make sure that we can pay for this, because these grants are not free. When we have to match these grants, we have to make sure that we can pay for them. So having said that, we are really depending on our finance director to guide us through that. We're going to, initially when I saw that there was, we were going to seek out grant services, my initial thought was we have to step very cautiously on that, because we have to be careful how many grants we can take on for a lot of reasons, just not for the matching, for the funding, the matching funds. We also have to be able to have the staffing and the manpower to be able to handle these grants. And that's part of the reason Penn Hills gets these large grants, because we have proven time after time that we can handle them. So as I read over the proposal from the Comprehensive Grant Services, I'm very excited to see, because this is a really, really good, reputable company. So I'm excited to see that's who we have. I'm excited to see that we're going to dip our toe in this, and it is a lot to ask our staff to do this. So it's really good to have this help. So I am enthusiastically, when the vote comes up, I will be voting yes on this, but I do want you to, I want the public to know that my enthusiasm also has to be a little curved. We have to curb it a little bit with, we have to move very cautiously, because these budgets are really predictions, and we have to be very cautious. Roll call, please.
I don't think we had a vote on this one either,
Okay.
or a motion rather.
May I get a motion for, there's just so many coming up. May I get a motion for item 6?
We already have a motion.
Yes.
I made a motion.
Okay.
Madam Mayor, would you mind if I
Sure.
made a comment? We have Mr. Rod Wilt from Allegheny Strategic Partners in the audience this evening. So if anybody had any questions, you're certainly welcome to ask. I can tell you, in looking for a new grant partner, they are highly recommended across the board. They have a lot of experience, not only with applying for the grants, but assisting the local governments in administering the grants and everything that we need. So I was very proud to recommend them for your consideration. So thank you.
Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Rafosco,
Yes.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Councilman Cartwright,
Yes.
Councilman Carestas,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese.
Yes.
Resolution approved.
May I get a motion for item 7A?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I make a motion, we approve ordinance 7A, ordinance 2026-2711, amending the Municipality of Penn Hills Police Pension Plan to institute the provisions of Act 49 of 2024 and allow for the purchase of prior police service pension credit.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council? Roll call, please.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Councilman Cartwright,
Yes.
Councilman Carestas,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rafosco.
Yes.
Ordinance approved.
Now we move to item 8.
7B.
I'm sorry, 7B. May I get a motion for item 7B?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I like to make a motion to accept ordinance 2026-27112, conditionally accepting the sanitary sewer system associated with the Northward Common Development and release of the performance bond on same.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council? Roll call, please.
Councilman Cartwright?
Yes.
Councilman Carestas?
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rafosco?
Yes.
Councilman Waldron?
Yes.
Ordinance approved.
So now we move to item number 8, the acting manager's report.
Good evening. I'm going to start off with Water Pollution Control Division for my report. During the month of April, well, actually, this is for March of 2026, there were 286 Pennsylvania 1 calls placed to the Water Pollution Control Department for marking of lines and et cetera for when people are doing constructions. They actually had 31 sewer complaints. They have been working on the 3 contracts, a couple of which were approved on this agenda this evening for the televising of the lines and things of that nature. We received a commitment of $134,250 from the Borough of Churchill as part of our intergovernmental agreement for the Collins Road Pump Station. And we are currently working on obtaining funds from Plum Borough on our intergovernmental agreement with them. We actually have a meeting scheduled in about 2 weeks on that. We were able to hire 1 certified wastewater treatment operator, and they'll begin working in a week or so. Water Pollution's been working on details for the replacement of a generator at the Long Road Pump Station, along with Gateway Engineers. They are also working on replacing the 4 gas alarm system at the Plum Creek sewage treatment plant, and that should be installed within the next few days, and calibrations will also occur at the site visit. Penn Hills EMS responded to 825 calls in March of 2026. We referred 203 calls to mutual aid services. Those would be our neighboring communities. Likewise, some of the calls that we responded to were for some of our neighboring communities, for a total of 1,028 calls for the month of March, bringing our year-to-date total to 2,937 calls. With that, we are anticipating running at least 12,000 calls in fiscal year 2026. Code enforcement had 80 building permits that were issued in the last few weeks. There were 87 complaints, and they conducted 63 inspections. 24 of the complaints were multiple complaints on the same address. Penn Hills Fire Departments responded to 1,095 incidents to date in year 2026. First quarter of the year is typically slowest months for the fire department, but they are seeing increasing numbers. Occupancy permits, 136 permits were applied for, 176 inspections were completed. 80 building permits, 2 inspections were completed. 14 dumpster permits, 15 street opening permits, 87 complaints with 63 actual inspections. There were 54 dye tests completed, and for a period from March 17th to April 17th, over $22,000 in fees were collected. Penn Hills Planning Department has been working with Urban Design Ventures on the completion of the annual action plan. That was one of the items that were tabled this evening. The demolition projects are underway. They're currently doing asbestos testings on the 10 homes that are scheduled for demolition. Once they get the asbestos reports, they'll move forward. Title searches are being completed currently, and they're expecting to bid out the projects in June or early July. There are 2 upcoming land development applications. One is Long John Silver's Restaurant. They are going to be demolishing the existing building on Rodi Road, 300 Rodi Road, and building a newly constructed facility at that same location. Additionally, First National Bank is proposing the construction of a bank in the lower portion of the Penn Hill Shopping Center to the left of the main entrance when you're entering the shopping center from Rodi Road. So those are things that you'll be seeing over the next few months. Planning's also been working on the grant applications, and they are working on a recycling grant, which would be for a one-ton dump truck and a wood chipper to replace existing outdated equipment. Public Works is actually out doing hot patching. They hopefully are done with winter weather, although we may get some this weekend. But they've shifted to using hot patch, which is more permanent than the cold patch that's typically used during the colder weather. They continue with 3 mechanics to wrap up all of the repairs to the salt trucks and to keep all of the other DPW vehicles inspected and on the road. They are also responsible for doing EMS repairs as their time allows. The municipal ball fields and parks have opened for the season effective April 13th. I was told that based on some residents' concerns, the parks will be opening in future years on April 1st. 15%, we are ahead on our pavilion rentals by 15% over last year. They actually have a mulch blower, and they were able to complete all of the mulching that they normally do by hand twice as quickly with the mulch blower, so that's complete. The Easter egg hunt had over 200 children in various age categories participate. They've held cooking classes and painting classes in April. May events include the Memorial Day Parade, kid painting and cooking classes again, a Creekside Nature Program, and a stargazing party in cooperation with the Penn Hills Library. Finance has been working on keeping track of every penny, and Sherry's been doing a good job with that. They are also implementing part-time scheduling software throughout the municipality, and as part of that scheduling software, there's also a payroll component, so that will help everybody get their payroll done more efficiently and hopefully with less issues. Revenues have begun to come in. We are at 25% of our budget of real estate revenues for 2026, and we have collected 27% of our earned income taxes as budgeted revenues so far. We've recently renewed the short and long-term disability insurance for the Penn Hills Police Department. That's something that the officers pay for themselves, but we were able to renew that with no increase in premium, and that's for a period of 2 years. I've been meeting regularly with the Penn Hills Fire Chiefs on the first Wednesday of the month and with the Fire Association on the second Wednesday of the month. I can tell you in 2029 to 2030, they are going to be looking for a substantial sum of money to replace all of their SCBAs, which are self-contained breathing apparatus that allows them to actually breathe while they're in a fire situation. We're looking at over $1 million to replace all of those. There are federal funds usually available for that, and hopefully this grant writer will prove extremely successful over the next few months while we have them on board, and potentially help us write some of those grants at the federal level as well, because those grants are extremely competitive. We have met with Duquesne Light regarding the AFIG construction and the grant that we received. Duquesne Light is, as I mentioned before, going to be footing approximately $56,000 of that construction cost. I believe the AFIG grant is somewhere around $40,000, with the municipal cost being around $2,000. That will give us electric vehicle charging stations here at the municipal building so that we can use them for future purchase of code enforcement cars, and we hope to seek some grant funding for those electrical vehicles. And they can also be used for visitors to the municipal building to charge their vehicles while they're here attending meetings or whatever. I would like to thank Councilman Cartwright and all of his volunteers. They've held 2 litter cleanups so far, one on Thompson Run Road and one this past Saturday on Rodi Road. Both were well attended, and the folks really did a yeoman's job in picking up bags of trash, so thank you for that. We also had Christine DeCarlos's group up here last Saturday to clean the dog kennels. We are in the process of buying some new tarps to keep those covered, and those will be installed by the Penn Hills Public Works Department. Gateway Engineers, Water Pollution Control, Public Works, Parks, and myself met with Manager Scott Fody and the engineering firm from Oakmont Borough. They have a sewer project that is going to be coming through Penn Hills Park. And so we sat down and we met with them so that we could understand exactly what work was going to be done on our parks and what kind of damages we could expect to have repaired as a result of those. So it was nice to actually have a meeting and be on the front side of that. We will also be attending the pre-construction meeting with their contractors. So thank you to all the folks that are involved in that. We were able to bring our workers' compensation insurance company to our last staff meeting this past Wednesday to review with all of the department directors all of the necessary paperwork and all of the documentation that we need to provide to our insurance company for anybody who is hurt on the job. We are going to be starting labor negotiations tomorrow with the Penn Hills Police Advisory Board. We also have the Penn Hills Paramedic Union who will be negotiating a contract this year, and I believe the school guards as well. I've not heard from them yet, but I anticipate that we'll hear from them soon. We also met with Gallagher Insurance and our municipal risk management people to go over special considerations, particularly with safety issues and driving license concerns that we have. The Penn Hills Monument Committee will be working next week to mulch and plant around all of the monuments in the front of the building. Public Works is assisting with some of that. And that's pretty much all I have for you today. But again, thank you to all of the volunteers. A lot of what we do can't be done without the people in the community taking an interest, so thank you for that. Yes?
Hi, I'm Sandy Feather, 6747 Shore Avenue. I'm also on the Penn Hills Shade Tree Commission, and this Saturday or Sunday, depending on the weather, we are planting 15 new trees in Penn Hills Park. It would be really helpful if we know where that sort of project's going to run.
I'm sorry, could you say that?
I said it would be really helpful if we know where that Oakmont SOAR project's going to run, because we wouldn't plant trees in the past if we knew.
Certainly. Scott, did you?
Thank you.
And you have the drawings, correct? If you want to. Okay. Very good, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Greg Swatchik, 648 Gramick. We're supposed to ask the manager a question and not make comments, I think is how Mr. Carestis, or Councilman Carestis' proposal that passed was to be implemented. So I'll form that as a question. Are you aware how, and this is to the municipal manager, are you aware how your report supports and proves the mayor's assurances to the public that a lot of stuff is getting done in Penn Hills? And it's a rhetorical question, but it's a question nonetheless to qualify. My vocal cords vibrating here. I'd like to just point out after adjournment on the initial website publication as well as the one on the table, someone inadvertently still left March 11th in there as the next council voting meeting, and obviously it should be May 11th. You may want to make that correction. And just one clarification for the record. In the non-voting meeting that we had, Mayor, I think I said 3 times, are you aware, are you aware, are you aware? That was some of your lead-off comments when you were successfully, mind you, defending Penn Hills regarding the billboard in Churchill. And, you know, at the dismay of the Shade Tree Commission and Penn Hills at large, it's the entrance. And I inadvertently said when you were over defending us in Wilkins, I meant to say Churchill, because that's where that took place. So thank you. It was just an oversight on my part. Thank you.
Bill Mouch, 1335 Maple Avenue. Dan, you mentioned all the volunteers picking up litter and so forth, and I wonder if we can have contact with Bob Moran, who I think is a county person who sends out the crews to cut the grass, you know, like over here across from Joe McAndrews' office, that little area that the county comes out and cut. They don't bother picking up the litter when they cut grass. So instead of having one piece of litter, there's 50 pieces after they go through there. Is there any way we can get Bob to call me or call someone to let us know when they're going to cut grass, and we'll go up a day before and pick up the litter? Because I was up there twice this year already, and there's just, you know, there would have been maybe 30 or 40 pieces of litter. There were 500 pieces, little tiny, you know, it gets to be a more mess. So if you know, mayor or manager can call Bob and have him, give him my number, and have him call me a day before, a couple of days before when they're going to schedule. Thank you so much.
I'll be glad to pass that on. I can't assure you that they'll call you, though.
So now we move to council comments. Deputy Mayor, any comments?
Not tonight, thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Carestis, any comments?
Thanks, Mayor. Just a couple of items. Very happy to hear that the EV project is moving along outside. You certainly can't beat spending $2,000 to get $90,000 back in both grant funding and in-kind services from Duquesne. So looking forward to that getting off the ground and adding some EV vehicles to this fleet. Outside of that, I am working behind the scenes on 2 ordinances that I'm hopeful that my fellow council will agree to showing up on a future council docket. And if so and approved, it's going to give you folks some homework in the form of ballot questions. We haven't had one of those in a while, have we? 2 questions to firm up certain areas of our charter. The first one is simply around acting manager position. As you all saw this winter, we had some ambiguity around how do you appoint an acting manager. In reality, the charter offered no guidance, which created confusion, to no one's fault up here. So I think we need to get a process in our charter to outline the A to Z of what that process should be. The second ballot question I'm proposing is to help fill our many vacant boards and committees. Simple language that would allow for a council person to nominate somebody if the mayor hasn't nominated an open seat in 90 days. That way we're not taking away the manager's position's power, but we're also not letting positions just run vacant forever. You know, a committee and a board that has full membership is in the best interest of the full community. So if anyone cares to see any of my draft language, I have a few copies up here what I'm working on, certainly not the final, and my fellow mayor and council can expect to see that in their email probably next week sometime. Thank you.
Councilman Waldron.
Yeah, a few things. So yeah, it's no secret, early this year in our first quarter, we had a few unexpected expenses come our way. So some of the reservations you see here tonight are, you know, I don't think it's not a grave concern, but, you know, we're all kind of moving forward with just some caution, right? So I don't want to alarm too many people about, you know, what's happening here. And I think there's there were some people after last non-voting meeting who were concerned about the $750,000 match for the library grant. I just want to assure everybody that, at least from my perspective, that's the number one priority, is making sure that that gets funded. And I think, I don't want to speak for everyone, but I think that a lot of people up here share that sentiment. And to that point, I learned recently that we have grant money coming in from projects that we completed last year that can go towards that. I think it's about $500,000 that will go, that we can put towards that 750. So it's not that big of a chunk coming out of our budget next year. So, so we are, you know, I think it's great that we're having these discussions in April and instead of not having them at all, or because we typically didn't have these conversations over, at least in the past 2 years that I've been here. So I think it's fantastic that we're talking about this up front and not waiting for it to be more of a problem. So this is really good, the conversations we're having. So I think it's really beneficial. So the second thing I want to talk about is I think we're all aware of the current condition of the Penn Hills Shopping Center, the potholes, and just the general degradation of it. I think it's time that we start putting some pressure on the owners there. And over the next month or so, I'm going to start talking with our solicitor and some of our other council members to see what we can possibly do there to kind of force some action. It's getting to be a little too much.
Thank you. Councilman Cartwright.
No further comment.
You know, I look out in the audience and I see Rick Duncan here, and I don't mean to embarrass him, but I have to tell you, I always say you can judge a person's character by how they behave when they think no one's looking. It happened again this morning. You know, when you drive down Allegheny River Boulevard and there's Rick out there. I mean, he is really just, thank you so much, Rick. I mean,
And Bill.
What's that? I live there now. Yeah. You've always lived there. You just have to sleep there. But it's amazing to see him out there and doing his thing. And thank you so much, because that's one of our major gateways. And we so appreciate what you do. I echo Councilman Waldron. One of the things that I specifically want to do is I think we probably will all agree on this. I think we immediately have to, as one body, write a letter to the owners of the shopping center and say that we demand that something be done. And then I would like to ask our solicitor if we can figure out a way. Actually, the district attorney got involved with Pittsburgh Mills. So I want to somehow, I mean, that's really the way to put pressure on. That's criminal, but as far as we can take that, I'd like to really take that. The other thing is, and this is critical, and coincidentally, ironically, or prophetically, or whatever, the mental health issue has been on my mind. I literally talked to someone about a week or two ago. I don't know the date. Part of the problem, and I don't know your exact address, but something that is happening in Penn Hills is we have group homes here that is, not all of them, some of them are perfectly managed, but there are some places where the caretakers are not taking care of the residents. That's not fair to the residents who live in the homes, and that's not fair to the residents who are neighbors. And that's a direct reflection of what's happening by the people who are supposed to be taking care of those individuals. So that's an issue where I want to sit down with the county, want to sit down, how's the licensing happening? What's the state doing about that? These are state licensures, and these are county-run, often it comes through there. So please know that even before you came tonight, this is something that's on our radar. We actually had these meetings scheduled back in December, and then other issues came up that we couldn't follow through with that. But please know that it's, we have not forgotten about it, and if you wait until after the meeting, I'm going to come and get your contact information. Thank you so much. Have a very good evening, and this meeting's adjourned.